Have you ever wondered, in this infinite existence, in this entire universe, what is that power that never dies? What is that eternal ultimate source that pulsates equally within everything, from the stars to a simple stone? Science says a stone is lifeless, but spirituality says that a universe is hidden within it. Just as we have life force within us, a life force is imprisoned within every molecule, every atom. When electrons leave their orbits, even a stone crumbles, and that energy merges into the universe. We stand between darkness and light, but our destiny is not to remain ordinary human beings. Our journey is to connect our consciousness with that cosmic consciousness. We have to hear that unstruck sound that even NASA has recorded. We have to evolve into a superhuman. So, are you ready to awaken that hidden virtual energy within yourself? Are you ready to descend into that depth of meditation where science and God become one? Come. In today's spiritual gathering, let's unravel this greatest mystery of existence.
Today's satsang is about everlasting ultimate source of energy of universe in the existence. This is a slightly deep subject as to what is the eternal, the always remaining source of the universe's energy in existence. If you go into the depth of meditation, and if I say it in other words, if you go into the deepest depth of meditation, only then will you realize this. Otherwise, you will not have this realization. I will try to explain this in simple words, and you will understand it too, if you are seated in even some depth of meditation. So first of all, it is necessary to understand that in this world, there is either darkness or light. Darkness and light cannot exist together. When light comes, darkness vanishes. So once, darkness went to God and prayed to God that light does not let it live. Light said to God that I have not even seen darkness, because as soon as light comes, darkness simply vanishes. You can fully understand that either you live in light or you live in darkness. Either stay inside with your own self or stay outside in the darkness of the world. Now, both states cannot be lived together. At one time, only one state comes. So when you are with the Lord, leave all the problems of the world. And when you are with the world, then try to solve the problems of the world only. So either stay in the light or stay in the darkness. Otherwise, you will keep wandering. The second aspect is that there is only one great power in the entire universe. We have all come from that very same source. Just as with any piece of cloth, in its innermost depth, there is only thread. No matter what the color of the cloth is, or what kind of garment you have made, deep within, it is just thread. If you go a little deeper into this, you will find that within us, within everyone, the soul exists as that thread. Whether we are living beings or non-living. The meaning is that whether it is a human, an animal, a tree or plant, or a stone or mountain, amidst all of them, the power of that Lord is present. The only difference is that in inanimate objects, the spiritual power is in a dormant state, and in living beings, it is in an awake state. In humans, it is in a super awake state. In animals and plants, awareness is less. In rocks and stones, it is in a dormant state. But within everyone, there is only one power. This is a very great mystery of the universe. Now, just as we are in the human state, the beings less developed than us are animals and plants. So if we want to evolve ourselves, because in modern times we are in the middle. When we are in the middle, we have to go up only. Going up means that we have to become a superhuman. If we want to understand the energy of the universe in existence, then until we reach the state of a superhuman or go into the deep depths of meditation, we cannot understand this subject. Until we truly become a superhuman, we cannot realize this. In our current state, we can try to know it, but we cannot witness it directly in a scientific way. If you study this universe, it is so vast. There are countless stars in it, countless planets, everything is endless. If you look at even a small planet and imagine it within your mind, what will you find inside it? There will be stones, there will be rocks, somewhere there might be water. It could be anything. But you can certainly experience that the stones and rocks will be of different types. If you look at the form of even a single rock, the rock is also made up of small atoms. It is made up of small molecules. Just as our body is made up of small cells, similarly, a stone is also made up of small atoms. And if you study the atom, the tiny atom which we cannot see with our eyes, it contains neutrons, protons, and electrons. Electrons keep revolving in their orbits, and there are millions and millions of such atoms. Even in a rock, when the electrons keep revolving in the same state, a state comes when they change their orbit. Just as we are living beings, there are electrons inside us as well. They are in a different form. The situation of cells is a bit different, but ultimately it is all the same, isn't it? And we also have a shelf life. We can live for 80 years, we can live for 90, we can live for 100 years, or we can live for a maximum of 120 years. Then within that, after that, the soul that is inside us leaves our body, and we are declared dead. Similarly, the stones and rocks, they also have a soul in a dormant state. They also have a lifespan. That can be millions and billions of years as well, which has no end. You can think in the depths of your mind that they also have a life. Just as we have the sun before us. Scientifically, it has been clarified that the sun's life is of millions of years, but now it has slowly reached such a state that in a few thousand years, the sun will also stop giving its light. So everyone has a stage. Similarly, whatever metal, stone, or rock there is, they also have a lifespan. You will have to bring this a little into your imagination that their single atom, its electrons which are revolving, after many years when they change their orbit, then a state can come such that the electrons might get out of the tiny atom. When in this way electrons from many atoms try to get out, then in the form of a stream, in the form of a life force, they can leave their home in the form of that rock and stone. All this is imagination that I am doing to explain the mystery of energy to you. When they come out of the stone and rock in the form of life force, then they come into the universe. So in the universe, some get absorbed and some begin to expand in the universe. You can think how many billions and billions of electrons will keep spreading in the universe. And when they leave the rock or stone, then a state will come such that the stone will also start cracking. Because its life force has gone out. Its duration cannot be stated. It could be millions and millions of years. When life force leaves any planet in this way, then that planet divides into small pieces and merges away. Just as the death of a human happens, similarly the death of a planet also happens. But its energy has come into the universe and the expansion of its energy began in the universe. You can think there are millions and millions of planets, there are stars, so from all of them slowly in millions of years this energy comes into the universe. When they were in their own planet, even then they used to move by themselves, used to revolve by themselves. Even after coming into the universe, they do not need any energy. In the same way, they keep expanding themselves and we give this the form of the power of the universe. When electrons revolve in the universe, they do not collide with anyone and just by their revolving, a very sweet sound is produced, which we call the Anhad Naad. This sound has been heard in NASA. You too, when you sit quietly in your home, at night time becoming free from thoughts, in the emptiness of your mind, then you can hear this sound. And the universe is evolving, this science has already established. So these electrons have a speed even greater than the speed of light, they have this swiftness and they keep on spreading. So the power of the universe is also spreading all around with them. In this, some stars merge away, some are born. All this has been proven. I have only explained this much to you that a life force comes out from an atom and that very force broadcasts its power in the universe and keeps on spreading, and in this expansion, moving forward, big rocks come. When this power meets them, then life force comes out from them as well, and in this way, the expansion goes on happening. Now you come to the state of humans. This power which is in the Anhad Naad, this is the power of consciousness, and we people also, every being has originated from this power of consciousness only. Inside us is that same power, the power of consciousness, which we give the name of the soul. This is basically a virtual energy. You cannot see this with your eyes. And this virtual energy is born, it merges away. This form of it keeps going on. And what other forms God has given to it, that is a matter beyond understanding. But in the form of the soul, this very power comes inside the human. This power remains in every one of our cells, and we develop this power through spiritual practice, through Kriya Yoga, through the method of breaths, through mantra chanting. And slowly such development of this power happens. It reaches our third eye center in the Agya Chakra also. There its development happens, and slowly when its development becomes very much, then from our apex center, from the Sahasrara Chakra, it merges into the universe. When this power merges into the universe, then it meets that very source, from which source it had emerged. When it meets that source, then we become so peaceful, as if we have reached our home. This only is called the state of samadhi, or a state of ecstasy. From the state of ecstasy man comes into the state of his consciousness, and then meeting with the power of the universe goes into the state of samadhi or ecstasy. Now whatever power there is, basically either it is a form of sound, it is a form of slow sound, or there is a form of electric current also in it, and you can feel the electric current in your spinal cord. When this power goes into the universe, the power of man, and there the power of the universe is already there. And meeting with these different types of powers, a great light is born. This is the light of the universe, and when human consciousness comes back into the human from there, then the human does not remain the same. When his consciousness had left him, the development of the universe happens in him, great intelligence comes in him. And when this happens thousands and millions of times, then slowly the human takes the form of a superhuman, and when he will take the form of a superhuman, then the future of the human is, it is the form of a superhuman only. In how many thousands and millions of years that will happen, that is very difficult to say. Aurobindo, a great being of Pondicherry, has written this very clearly in his books, that it is impossible to say how a person will become a superhuman. But only by becoming a superhuman will the evolution of man happen. So I have presented this before you, that our consciousness meeting with cosmic consciousness, meeting with cosmic energy, and the cosmic energy that is there has come from many planets of the universe, from stars, in various ways. There is such great power in it, such power of the void, only that can make a human a superhuman, and based on that only it is possible to say this. This is the only method by which a person can become a superhuman. Now how many more complexities are there in this in the form of God? It is difficult to say all that. But when a person stays in the state of samadhi or ecstasy for a long time, then a particle of the superhuman comes into him, and when this particle begins to expand, then slowly it becomes clear to him in what form this power of the universe has emerged from different types of planets, emerged from different types of stars, and how it is changing its form. So only by coming into the deep state of samadhi or ecstasy can this be realized. Only a realization of this happens, and when the time comes, not only will there be a realization of it, you will also be able to live in this power. This is the future of humans. When there is so much power in a non-living atom, becoming an atom bomb, how much destruction it can cause, then this is the great power of consciousness which has come from the universe. So from this endless development is possible, it is feasible. But how that will happen, it is very difficult to say, and the expansion of the power of the universe will keep on happening because it comes from different types of planets, comes from different types of stars, and once it comes, then its movement keeps going on by itself. Now if we come to the human state, then we use different substances, materials in our life. If we make any machine, different types of instruments are used in it, and whatever instrument is used, there is metal only in it, even if its form is different. Now the metal that is used in it, the soul remains in it also in an unconscious form. As I told, atoms remain in that too, and how many electrons are there in each atom? If after many thousands of years that you keep using it, then its life force might leave that metallic part, it is impossible to say when. When life force leaves any metallic part, then that part becomes spiritually dead. Because just as we have a life, similarly every substance also has a life. It has its existence, and when the life force leaves it, how it will stop working, it is very difficult to say. Sometimes you see in your homes, sometimes your fan gets spoiled, sometimes the mixer gets spoiled, or whatever different types of instruments you use, they keep getting spoiled. Many times you get it repaired, and sometimes when you go to get it repaired, the mechanic says, everything is fine, no problem is visible, but he says it is not working at all. When this state comes, there is no answer for it. The answer to this is given only in a spiritual form, in a very rare state. Which I told you that the shelf life of the metal, when the life force leaves it, then it becomes dead. It remains attached in the machine, but the work that was supposed to be done by it, that work does not happen. How it does not happen, what does not happen, that I cannot say, but in a mystic way it has been understood like this only. That metal is replaced and your machine starts working again. Now deeper than this neither science has gone, nor has our thinking gone. Only by going into the depths of spirituality has this thing been realized, that when many crashes happen in the world, accidents happen, they are investigated thoroughly, and even after years of investigation it is not known why such a thing happened. It can happen in any state, it is impossible to say. But this is natural. Because spiritually, just as there is human life, similarly every substance has a life. To look at, it will seem fine. Man, who is a physical being, we burn his body or bury it, so his atoms mix back into the universe. But regarding metal, no such research has been done on what changes occur inside them. But it has come into our experience that many crashes happen or accidents happen, the cause of which we cannot know, and when the cause cannot be known fully, then spirituality only comes before us, and the proof of this is that the life force leaves it, and this cannot be proven. By going into the depth of meditation, some experience of this can be had, and when the time comes, science will become progressive. Spirituality will also take the form of science. Then it will become possible to understand how the life force that leaves the substance affects the life of the substance. But in modern times, no one has a realization of this. Now it happens that either man lives in darkness or lives in light. Living in darkness seems very pleasant to everyone. A person stays in it, lives in it, but does not experience light. But a person thinks that just as problems happen with me, difficulties come to me, similarly Mahavir also faced difficulties. It happened to Mahatma Buddha as well, it happened with Raman Maharshiji also, and it happened with Lord Ram Krishna also. Some died of diseases, some died of cancer. Why does this happen? The simple answer to this can be given as this, that when you live in light and darkness comes even for a moment, then your life force finishes and some or the other problems come to you, and from that either you get entangled or slowly your life also ends. You yourself must have experienced this in life. You are very aware. Suddenly your attention wandered. You came from light into darkness, and at that time you create such a terrible problem for yourself that you are unable to understand why this happened to me. This is very natural. Like there is light in your house and suddenly it becomes dark and then light comes back, then sometimes in that darkness something terrible also happens. Sometimes an awakened person suddenly goes into a dormant state, goes into darkness and commits some terrible mistake, and it has severe consequences. So it is very difficult to say why the mistake happened, what were the consequences. All this is related in some form or another to life force energy only. However much this is expanded upon, it is less. Until you experience this yourself, only then will you know that a man can go from the state of light to the state of darkness any time, and can also come from darkness to the state of light. And whatever substances are there in the universe, from which substance or from an atom a life force stream leaves, and that stream spreads in the universe, from that either the power of the universe is formed, and if not, then terrible problems happen, crashes happen, which cannot be explained scientifically. But it happens just like this, and you all see its results. So, in brief, I will say this only, that the power of the universe in existence will always remain. Because the universe is so vast, life force keeps coming out of it in some form or another, and man also by developing his consciousness goes into that universal power, and slowly from human can become a superhuman. And when he becomes a superhuman, then everything will become fully clear to him why this happens. Right now, this is only in our imagination, is in our thinking, and everything comes out of thought first, and only later its reality comes to the fore. After how many thousands or millions of years this will come to the fore, it is impossible to say. Will this be its method, or will the method also change? This is also difficult to say. But this is fully clear that only by transforming into a superhuman can a human understand all this. This is all the evolution of consciousness, and it is the broadcast of life force energy and its power all around, in which we are spending our life, and our intellectual development is also happening from there only. Thank you.